Yo. Mic check. It working. It's working. It's lurking. Yo, I posted a link in the chat on YouTube. If you're watching this on X, I apologize. We do not look at the chat over there. Unfortunately, it's just a bridge. It's just a Zen coin. It lives on X. It does its thing. Maybe it turns up. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But yeah, we're on YouTube, and I posted a link to this. But if you're on X, you can find it on my X account. I will be at the base meetup today. There's another one on Friday. So I have to DJ on Friday though. So maybe. But today for sure, I'm gonna be there. So if you're in NYC, bro, pop out to the base meetup. I went to this last year with Og. So my hope is this is a little different. What up, Frankie, with the Fizzive, the Mona Lisa. Thanks for that, dog. But yeah. So like, what's crazy is I'm gonna pop out. I'm gonna, I don't know, maybe just be alone. Maybe be alone. I don't know. Probably, I don't know. We'll see if some Zenians want to go out, but regardless, if you motherfuckers don't show up, I'm gonna be there because I still want to talk to people from base. I like the chain itself. I don't think it's a bad chain, especially after the recent events of, you know what I'm talking about. What's up, y'all? What up, Face? What up, Josh? I see Lita, Mind Body Crypto, Dank in his beach. Arnett in this motherfucker. We go with Arnett. What up, Arnett? What it do? Zenthusiast. Yes, sir. It's good morning vibes. That's a fact. It's a fact. Another day in the Matrix. Everybody in this bitch is on the ship and in the Matrix. Low key, your consciousness is on the ship. But yeah, man, today is the usual March 26th, 2025. It's Tuesday. It is Tuesday. I thought that Bitcoin would crash yesterday. Let me fix my shirt. Hold up. Got the Padre beanie on. Oops. Let's go, Pods. Baseball season started. I don't really care too much about baseball, but my team is good. So my fuck your team, right? That's how it works. Gotta love competition. Yeah, pull up to this shit, man. It's gonna be fun. But yeah, like yo, this your boy Crypto Bro, blah blah blah. You already know the cadence. We talk about Zen crypto and how it relates to the overall mainstream market, kind of basically giving you that blueprint, in my personal opinion, of why we're here to stay and why other coins will fizzle. And basically we will consume other coins as other coins think that they consume other coins. It's going to be just as simple as that. But what's happening right now is a lot of people think, what do you call it? We're like done. We're there's no more bear market or bull market. Bull market's done. But if you like read the crypto news and stuff, like there's a lot of positivity all around the space. In general, let me take off these science lines. Cause really at this point, like you don't really need to chart Bitcoin anymore. It's like you're going against robots. Like what the fuck? You're a human. Especially if you're watching Crypto Bro. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe button. We be here right now. What up, Samson? Serious punch. Watch out. He got a serious punch. But yeah, you don't really need to use TA to get into crypto. Understand where you're trying to drive the boat. All that stuff is just like good ways to figure out a prediction area. But again, I think Zen is where you want to put a lot of your noobness. Like if you're a noob, you should probably chart Zen because it would help your noob more than the Bitcoin. The Bitcoin, you're charting alongside people who want you to fall into their trap. So I'm still watching this, man. On the weekly, Bitcoin scary as shit. There's a $45,000 possibility. You can totally see it if you want to be bearish like me. You can see it here. It's like, oh, we could break below the 42 on the RSI, and that could definitely send a lot of signals to people who feel like they need to risk off before the summer. Now, with that being said, that's like the negative in Bitcoin, because it's in your face and a lot of people would deny it. You see, you got the buy signal going off. It's a buy. I think it's a buy too, though. I'm just playing the narrative. See, there is one thing that has me bullish on Bitcoin, and it's like the whole spooky number side of it. So like I was thinking like maybe like, because people love the number 84, just remember that, and the number 73. People love those. Don't worry about the people who love them, just know they love them. All right, you can figure it out more if you want to go DYOR. So I was wondering which side of this narrative we would get, since there's some crazy numbers yesterday. Oh shit, today is Wednesday. Damn. Okay, I don't know what day it is. Dude, I am literally in the Zen Matrix. Today is Wednesday. Yesterday was Tuesday. That's why I don't have to move my car. See, I don't wake up and look at the day. I'm like, what day is it? You know, the day is no relevance to me until I need to make money off that day. And honestly, I probably need to put the fire under my ass to turn every day into $1, but I'm just not there right now. Mentally, I should get there, or we're gonna get there. As you can see, you know, there's other things you need to you got to pay attention to right now. Maybe not flipping every day as $1 helps benefit you see something else. Just mindset shit that I be on right now. So it is mad funny because today is Wednesday. So yeah, I was expecting yesterday to be a bad boo day for Bitcoin. But it rallied, but it got stomped out. Right. So if we go down into the hourly in Bitcoin, right, there's nothing here until you hit auto, then you'll see the whole thing. So again, the thing we like about Bitcoin is it's the leader in the narrative. So it sways the market because think of it as like a temperature. Really, yeah, Bitcoin is more of a temperature than it is anything else. You check it, you see how they're feeling, and it kind of dictates the rest of the market, which is it plays into the benefit of people launching really big things like Zen. Like Zen is a really big thing. So this is actually the type of environment we want, because now everyone's at the mercy of Bitcoin, at the mercy of Ethereum, wherever they're at the mercy of Solana, whatever you're rooting for, and it goes down and you're like, oh my God, I can't make a move because I'm in the red. You're at the mercy of that object. And that's the thing about Bitcoin. They're trying to do damage control on people who bought Bitcoin above $90,000. There is a clear top right here, buddy. They don't want this to go up. They're trading with the moving averages. So what I'm trying to get at with the spooky numbers is I wanted an 84 because it's the 84th day of the year yesterday. So what's weird is as we go up in days at the end of the March. So this is like it's like some spook shit, but you can take it how you want it. At least it's going up. Now when the pattern breaks is going to be April 1st, because we had a 4 and a 1. So this is going to change to a 50, but on our way up, you got 79,000 as possible bottoms and 90,000 as possible tops. That's kind of how I'm assuming Bitcoin is moving right now, because there's nothing positive to say about Bitcoin, except maybe there's some money to be made here, which is fine. Keep vaulting. I'm long on Bitcoin. Like, I think over, again, on the weekly spectrum of this, I think it looks like it's trying to make a decision, and it's in a range. So as long as no one, like the president now is like, I'm pulling back on Bitcoin, it should be fine. You know, Bitcoin is a pretty zen coin. It's not the one that's gonna flip and make you rich anymore. It's the one for stability. Okay. And again, Ethereum is channeling this energy to make everybody retarded. And because everybody is stuck and retarded with Ethereum, we're seeing Solana hang out in the craziest range. Dude, Solana's so powerful. Remember, X1 is the first Solana fork. The very first Solana fork. Okay, I'll get more detailed with it. The layer 1 Solana fork. Now there's some Solana clients. Like FireDancer, where they're providing TPS to private clients to get them away from you fucking degens. But X1 essentially is the first fork of the system state. So public ledger, permissionless, with the speed of Solana. It's actually going dumb in the club right now. I think it has hella nodes. Like the node count is just busting right now. Like before I moved to New York, I never said the word bussin'. But like everybody out here says that shit, and it actually flows off the tongue pretty well. Man, that shit's bussin', bro. It's all the skaters, skate kids. Oh yeah, so 286 validators are online. Testnet validators are still growing. It's looking good, right? Yeah, in crypto, you don't need to worry, bro. Take this with you. OG gave me this, so I'm gonna give it to you. You don't need a lot. You're in a hyper. This thing is going to explode regardless. It's up to you. You gotta do you. You see this shirt? This is the same shirt. This is the same shirt on my fucking X account. So like, I've been had this mindset. This mindset. The do you mindset has been here. This ain't new, bro. The solo game, that's what makes Zen like super tight. That's what gives it the ability to be flexible while we are we're like tumbling down a hill in a barrel with everybody because of fucking Bitcoin. And then Ethereum's bitch ass holding everybody back. See, I would 2020 lols. To me, Ethereum is just as bad as Pulse Chain. Right? Because like the problem with these big mindshare pod things is some people won't move until they move, and that's actually bad for the whole space because it fucks everything up. Right? From what I've learned in crypto, it works best when it keeps moving. So constant. We want to make it constant. And that's why we like Solana, because they produce blocks. They're the closest to the it's always online that we've ever gotten to. Even Ethereum just broke like 23 million or some shit. I don't even know. Here, let me look. Let me fact check. What up, Tree City West? ETH is channeling retard energy. Bro, it's just holding everybody back because they have too much stake in it. And this is our own fault. That's why I'm woke to it now. I'm fucking woke. Kamala Harris, bro. I'm woke to this one. All right. There's this thing. That's why I was saying in these past streams, like, oh, everybody got ETH PTSD because they actually have stake in it. I left ETH last year. I already went through my Mariah Carey breakdown, bro, and took my talents to Solana. And that's why I'm like, yo, Solana is on fire. When I came into Solana, it was right here. It was like $100. I caught this dip. And I got some Solana too down here-ish. Yeah, I got it some down here because everyone started talking about it and it went up, and I was over being a hater, like like everybody who was telling me not to get into Solana. I started since, I don't know if you're around in the channel on 23, like you probably seen it. The demeanor changed. It was like, yo, no, we're gonna win. So yeah, I've been in the Solana for a minute. Solana's tight, and again, I think the community over there, they have a lot of different ethics and principles. Now, Solana is centralized, and that was something I had to get over. But everything in this whole fucking crypto space is centralized, right? Solana wants to become decentralized, so you can go to this thing called Solana Beach. Darn it. Hold on. What's it called? Yeah, Solana Beach Validators. Oh, SolanaBeach.io. I should have known it. So I like going to this one because you can really see like everything. But I kind of agree with a lot of economists now. Like, if you do some research, right? That's doing the research now is really trying to not understand DeFi, but like understand it all. You have all the tools, so just go out and ask the right questions. But here in Solana world, they have 1,327 total validators, right? They have a super majority of 20, and that's who's getting all the blocks. That's what we're talking about when we say centralization, because we know that Solana has this, but there's a technical side to the situation which prompts them to have this number, and that's what X1 is trying to do for the public. Create that cluster where everybody can join and be in this super majority, and it not necessarily be tied to a board of directors that make decisions. Community makes the best decisions about the outcomes. So I do think this is like, so it's we're trying to save the world, guys. Like, that's just fucking weird. It's gonna take everybody. I was saying that today in the XENblocks chat. It's like, yo, we can't save the world, but we can save Zen world, and then we can save the world after that. Because everybody who's participating, like everybody who's putting nodes together, researching how Zen works, using it to its best ability, you know, positioning themselves, making XENblocks and shit like that, like all of that is what Solana doesn't have. Like, Solana does not have the real community, but they have the best technology that everybody wants to be a part of. So it's already, as you can see, is being dictated because it's everybody's got stake in it and nobody wants it to fuck up, right? Today you can see there's some references happening presently why maybe you don't really want the whole public to have this blockchain. Once the public takes over, it's kind of like the time to get out of there, like time to get first class, you know. So yeah, like I'm kind of pro this notion. You do need a super majority to help run and organize and strategize possibilities of maintaining an everlasting or evergreen product. Because these things die, man. They really die. Blockchains fucking die. Okay. Zen is a culprit in this discovery for your boy. I've been fucking around. I just started fucking around on optimism. You guys know that you can definitely do more, but it looks like the threshold is 158. 159 wasn't rocking. And see, optimism, man. I made a post today because I was like fucking around on it, and I started to put some Zen mental model. I went in with my Zen mental model on top of optimism. I'm like, see, I don't think anybody's really over here. They're not like thinking of the Zen. They're just thinking of the actions. That's cool. But you could get into the Zen, how it works, how the mining formula works, and you could think of other ideas of how you can apply that towards something cool. So yeah, I found some cool stuff just in a little bit of testing, and my mind is like, damn, you could do so much with daily mints here. Because you know me, I want to get a chain to a day. That's what we need. That's what a Zen is supposed to be. It's alive. It's a living ecosystem, and it should have a constant, which is it doesn't matter where you are, someone's making a C rank, right? And if every chain is making a C rank, that's tight, but I doubt it. That doesn't sound it's a realistic, like it doesn't sound realistic for everything to keep beating. It does sound realistic for Ethereum and things in Ethereum, but everything else would rely on community. And as we can see from, I would say, is you could do 6 years of this case study at this point. Like shit falls apart. But the game is to keep the nodes around. The concept is, do people want to stay around? And as we can see, EVMOS, they did the hard, we're going to let you figure it out, and told everybody. Phantom kept the nodes around, and then they, in my opinion, this is because I think Phantom is the most shady out of everybody. Like, they're even more shady than Pulse Chain, because they're not telling you how they were moving. They're directing you to position, and I don't think that's fun. Because if you've played the Phantom game, you're a pawn in their game. They got you calculated down to like kicking out someone who doesn't want to think about it. Now, some of these do this same ideology where they make the systems so disgusting that there's no ethical reason to be in it and waste time. You know, but some of these things, you know, there's real people. So it's like, oh, okay. Like, I don't want those real people in that pool to get fucked. But like Phantom, I'm so glad that this G rank went through the roof. So it's just proof. The proof is here. Like, anything Phantom related is about the money, and they have no money. So they're giving away crypto and making people think that they got value. And that's why, like, they can't get a narrative off the ground over there on Sonic. I see people screaming Sonic, 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 Sonic. And you know that shit is lame, because it's just like, why do you keep chanting it? Why hasn't it just fallen on the desk, you know? So this is what I'm saying by they're the shadiest one in Zen world, because they left the Zenians to figure out the nodes. At least EVMOS said we turn them shits off. Whoa. Woo. I need another sip of coffee. Had a tickle in the throat. Pause. But yeah, this is like just my twos, my ones and twos on this one. Like, EVMOS is doing a like bon voyage. Phantom, they said we going to Sonic. Come over if you want to. And then they force the exchanges. That's fucked up. Like, if they force the exchanges to turn their FMT into S-Coin, that means anybody over there got to produce it, and they got to take over the nodes. Why are you working for this thing that you didn't create? But granted, I bet people will work for it. So do whatever you want to do, but that's a waste of time. You're going to work on this railroad. Maybe you can, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm thinking of this like dystopia crypto world where people are just using this code for communication, but like it's like a walkie-talkie. Like, why are you on that frequency? Like, damn, are you that, like, I don't want to use the word, but are you this poor? Like, you're so poor, like you're trapped in that frequency, you know? But yeah, Phantom did everybody the dirtiest. He let y'all stack up hella coins and got up out of there. And they did this to every project. This is not Zen. Anybody who went hard on Phantom and didn't expect for it to move over and not fork the state, they all work for free. Like, oh, y'all ain't gonna fork the state? What? And they're like, nah. We built a new one. We built a new one. So, but yeah, that's just my little twos on this one. Like, it's so scammable. Avalanche is way better than this, but again, like, there's no money in crypto, and Zen's an open source project. The G rank is a representation of blockchain activity and blockchain resistance, right? There's some of these that have, we already know the resistance is down. So like 72 VMUs, 30 VMUs. Phantom, you could only do 45. Never forget. This isn't even open because it doesn't work on Rainbow Wallet. Rainbow Wallet puts up the guardrails. Make sure you can't go to a shit chain. Use Rainbow Wallet. It will save you tons of time. But yeah, so like to be on a positive note, XEN though. XEN, I think if you've lost a lot of time in the Zen world, dude, pick it up now. Like, pick up your Steam back on XEN, because at least it only has 1 amp. So lost time is just based on motherfuckers finding out. There's no complexity. But this is why I don't, XEN, you got to do it now. The people who do it now will win the most. But as soon as it starts going, we're going to see where it goes. And that's why, again, when it starts to go, no one's going to be making like experiments anymore. They're going to move on to some sort of random quantum phase where everybody's rich and they don't know how to use it. And it's probably just going to dump. So personally, that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to think of how do you keep XEN active, because the activity is the C ranks. If people aren't making C ranks, it's dead. And it can pump really hard because we all are one notion, but it has no leader. So if it dumps, it dumps. But that's where it's at with that. I don't know. Maybe we'll see like tons of people get behind XEN and just all say the same things, like, oh, it has no amp, it's connected to the X1 blockchain, and they just like get really good at saying that. It has no amp, it's connected to the X1 blockchain. It has no amp, it's connected to the X1 blockchain. Right? It's either that or like, yo, everybody makes the staking class like super big because it's got 14%. So that's why, again, I'm like, oh, if you really wanted to experiment with XEN, you could just max out your VMUs and then lower your risk heavy, because if it's going to blow up, it's going to blow up. So getting 2,000, optimisms in to experience the blow up is very humble, right? And if that's making you hungry, maybe it will get you to a point where you want to consume it and start becoming a staker. But yeah, the staking class over here is really low. Like, the attention is really low. LOL. Don't FOMO yo-yo. No, actually, Dank, I have this funny thing in my head right now. How many people are watching this? Damn, 25 people. Well, this is all the trues. I guess if you're still rocking with crypto, bro, you're a trues. Shouts to you, my trues. Make sure you hit the fucking like button. So this is just for us. But yeah, XEN doesn't have anybody over there. And whenever I start talking about shit, people start thinking way too hard. So the simplicity and the operational move over to XEN is to get ahead of the buying crowd, because they don't have a narrative. The only narrative they have is it's going to go up with X1 chain and the amp is 1. So you can build narratives with the amp is 1 and create like a burn factory just by making 1 and 2. And they're cheap as fuck, bro. Like, what do you call it? I'm like making these, well, right now I guess gas is high. So at a low gas point, this is what I was thinking too. Like someone can make like an app with like, that like collects a bunch of entries where people pay gas fees in that time period. And then you just like hold them and then like process them later when gas is low. But yeah, gas will expand if everybody goes over to XEN and starts mining day mints. So there is also that part where if a bunch of people, like if we started like a whole fun ass game, because that's what I'm saying, you could take over these chains. That's what I'm talking about when I say I'm going somewhere. It's take over season because y'all aren't there, and y'all said y'all was there. The same thing was with the CBZN. Everybody was like, CBZN. I went over there. I was like, man, ain't nobody over here. Like, there's nobody over here. And now there's a ton of people over here. And that's what we want, though. We want to, and we want people to get active. We don't want people to stay stagnant. That's the classic Zen thing. Not talking about why the amp is working. And that's why, again, like, maybe I would have been more interested in XEN weeks ago if one person was giving me a better definition of why they like the 1 amp. What do they see with this? What can this bring to the table? Because no one wants to go 14 days. That's not the simulation here. And then I can understand the complexity, because in order to get to the concept that the 1 amp is what is the most important, you have to understand that this is the closest in supply to the Ethereum one, which is technically the real Zen, but it's not. You know, it's like the Ethereum one is real Zen because Jack Levin says so. So I like the ones that have Satoshi's vision and no founder. Those are the ones I like. The ones that have Satoshi's vision, no founder, but the Ethereum one is founded by Jack Levin. So it has the Jack Levin effect. Right? No one can really pump this one but Jack Levin. Because it's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. What you can pump those to C ranks. Is that a smart idea? I think my personal take on it is stop making C ranks and get a position in stake. Build, like, I like that number where no one is. And you can see it right here in active stakers. There's around, it looks like there's 12 at the height. Oh, here, we'll just do this. Fuck I'm doing. There's so many non-active stakers that it's just a flat line compared to miners. So yeah, why wouldn't you get in the fucking staking class? Duh. Just simple stuff. But you see, like, there was a lot of stakers in the beginning or in the middle of Zen last time, but they're all gone now because they sold all their fucking Zen, like I've been saying, and all the Zen is on the chart because it's over polluted. These new group of buyers, you only need 10 billion. You don't need a lot. So if you've been here for 2 years and you don't have 10 billion, what in the fuck are you doing? You know, like the data is starting to show how behind you are. You know, if you're still hashing or mining like 2 billion Zen, because you're not, like, again, you're not exploding your XeNFT exposure, because that's how the game goes, right? The G rank is not moving that much, guys. It needs to be going by 10 a month, in my personal opinion. It is not moving by 10 in a month. Let's see, where are we at? 31 when we were at 21. May 6th. It's almost been a whole year and only 10 million G rank or C ranks have been created. This shit is stupid. The only thing that's working in Zen is the is the physical model. Because in the physical model, you're using time. In the mental model, you're building you're building your aspects. No. You're building like your character, your characteristics, your prototype essentially in the space, like in the other prototypes that could be there. Because everyone's gonna be different. It's a solo game. There's definitely gonna be 9 different versions of this mental model and that's why I'm like, yeah, this does fit a lot of stuff that people could just bring to the table, and all of a sudden Zen makes sense to a whole bunch of people. And then, you know, those that were just around didn't start applying these elevated thoughts, you know, onto the actual thing that they have, and now you're getting left in the dust because somebody came in with a better way or strategy of pushing this narrative. And I think, again, that's why I'm not gonna bet on Zen in a claim rank on Ethereum. I'm gonna buy that shit. I'm gonna bet on Zen in a claim rank on OP Zen or on CB Zen. And I just found out why maybe I'll do it on OP Zen, and maybe I'll buy some. That's the only way really to get the balance over here. You got to buy some, right? And then you got to like be comfortable with the stake bag so you can just make one day mints and lower your risk. But then you're probably just going to turn into a buyer, but the game would be trying not to buy, turn into your own difficulty. And that's what the claiming of the C ranks can do. C ranks can almost be seen as like a balancing act so that you don't buy into the chart and people sell on your head and you lose advantage. Right? All the Zens work together, and that's what we don't have that yet either. A dashboard that explains what I'm saying, because I'm doing the research. And one day it will exist, probably. Gwei is unpredictable on optimism. Yeah, that's something I gotta see. That's why I'm saying I'll do one day mints. Dude, it's gonna teach me so much about optimism. Give me a week. We'll know a lot about optimism in a week with one day mints. Did you see? That's crazy, bro. Only a few will understand this. That's a pure fact. So everyone's gonna be hyper focused on the chart, or they're gonna be hyper focused on maximum. So we know that those mental models all fucking exist. The maximum mental model is in Zen world, like max mint everything, don't buy, you know, you're always gonna win. And that's actually a good one to have. But then you have the burner who thinks like inflation is like against them. Like somebody literally left a comment. I forgot your name. I'm sorry if you're watching this again. But somebody left a comment on my last video and they were like, basically like, we need to battle inflation. But like, I don't think, again, inflation is bad. Inflation is good. Inflation is how you get to start over or spread new ideas. But when there's no inflation, there needs to be a really good narrative. Like, it's a Bitcoin. Like, it's a piece of gold. Nah, it's a shitcoin thing called CBZen. Like, that's a bad narrative right now until there's an X1 chain. And again, it's still a bad narrative if we don't get to this thing called redline that I'm envisioning, right? And in order for us to get to that, that means that we are real mass adoption. And for some reason, we figured out a way to get into reality. Reality has shown up, and it's no longer about like people trying to get as rich as they can. It's about how's this economy being built on top of this thing called the Zen network, right? And a lot of it relies on X1 chain too. So, you know, X1 has to be the shit. If it's not the shit, we're all doing this for nothing. I think it's doing pretty good. You can go use it on testnet. So that's why, again, I'm feeling really comfortable in the Zen ecosystem because this is doing well. It's on 14 million or 14 billion blocks, while Ethereum is over here sitting, what is it? Yeah, 22 million blocks. Now, yeah, 22 million, right? Yeah. Peeps have short memories. When minting XEN, we fucked up the Gwei on optimism. Oh yeah, that's what it is. But that's what I mean. Optimism, it doesn't want a lot of people on it at one time. So that one's just weird in general. The XEN actually has a long hill up, but that's why, like, I'm just curious to how you tell someone to get into this, because until this 14% is 2%, you can't really talk about stability on optimism. So that's another critical thing about optimism. Even though the AMP is 1, staking needs to get to 2, because every 90 days someone can just hyperinflate it and then dump everything. And you know, again, that's why I like CBZen right now, because it has the long game built into it with the larger AMP. So staking doesn't necessarily affect the price, because staking might be all anybody has because of the longer AMP. You know, there's more quantum outcomes because this AMP has, you know, it has the ability to make a lot of tokens that someone might release to the public, and it's still at a really low price where you can get, I'm laughing because it's pretty funny to me, but like the thing about CBZen that is like the funniest is that it's at a low ass price. So if you come with 10 billion Zen, right, you're like, oops, no, I gotta add one more zero. Yeah, so like if you come in with 10 billion Zen on CBZen, you're only getting $6. So like the benefit in CBZen right now is that there wasn't a lot of C ranks created to this point, because now everybody's trying to get into position because of how long the AMP is. Because the AMP actually has capped how many tokens actually exist. It doesn't matter how many staking you do. This is the most impactful piece of the puzzle. So an optimism, it's a flip series where now the stakers have advantage, and if you've made a bunch of Zen with the AMP, you've got the break. And it's trying to get those people to shuffle out. So, or again, just waiting till it gets to 2% and hoping that they're good actors. I don't really know any of this community over here. You know, I haven't really talked about it much. And again, that's what I mean. No one's really putting a very hyper focused lens on top of XEN outside of the AMP is 1, X1 is coming out. You know, like that doesn't really sell XEN to me. Why do I want to bring $1,000 here versus CBZen versus Zen, right? If I brought $1,000 to Zen, this is the 10 billion theory that I'm talking about, where in Zen is Jack Levin's baby, essentially, that everybody dumped because they fuck Levin, right? Dude, they did Jack Levin dirty on his Zen. If you look at it from the crypto bro lens, look at these nastiness. This is the mind control part of crypto. If you're in the wrong crowd, getting the wrong information, you're one of these red candles. That we're looking at the weekly. I love looking at the weekly on Zen because it's really nasty. I've seen so many people jump off the boat. Now they're trying to swim to catch up. I can see them though. They're coming. They're getting close. They got getting hungry. And that's why Jack got them under his finger, bro. Like, they're all waiting for X1 chain to validate ETH Zen where the money is. But we are in cryptocurrency. It doesn't matter where the money is. It doesn't matter where the money is. Man, the money gonna find where it's gonna go. And that's the best thing about being in Zen. Get a well position before the money shows up. Right? It's gonna come into here first, but people are gonna hit the same issues that we talk about on this channel, which is you're gonna see gas go up. And I had said this, but I did not think it would happen, and it's happening. But Zen is taking over Ethereum, and it's gonna be the only thing that's happening on ETH. And then other people might do the Zen thing where they take inspo from us and they use the nucleus of Ethereum as a value proposition. They're propped up in the Ethereum. You pay a little gas fee. You can only have so many people doing that shit before it's expensive. Scale CB Zen up. Like how you can only have one person doing this. Really, like if a group of 10 can do it, but then you're like, oh shit, we're all fucking up gas. So imagine Ethereum when a lot of other people start to see the value that you can get from just running the reward formula, the Zen reward formula, right? See, people think Zen is just about gas. You better sub to the channel, bro. You're not gonna get this type of detail in April. Maybe a little bit, but not all the time. Only if you're in the member world, because we got to concentrate it. But yeah, everybody thinks Zen is about gas, and gas is cool because you got to spend gas to get it. But what a lot of people don't understand is that the G rank is what governs the supply. When you pay gas, you're essentially paying for the G rank, because that's what's happening. You're getting placed in line, and this needs to grow in order for you to grow more Zen. So if we take this experiment to optimism, this is where you can learn, again, how it works. And the math will work out for you. So you'll see up here, I got 2100 optimism, right? This is how you know it's a fair game. Anybody can do this math. I'm happy for optimism because this is so crazy. Because this is a crazy thing too. Like nobody really doing it like this. So this is kind of crazy the way I'm seeing it. The 150 was perfect, but yeah. So we did 150, and what happened was it was on the 25th. So you see on the 25th, when I made my C rank, at the same time the G rank increased by 20,426. So if I take that to the calculator and I were to do the same thing here where users after me, if I type in, right, and the number of VMUs was 150, you see it calculates the same thing right here. Now what I'm saying the power of Zen is the predictability that people are saying does not exist. There's so many places I've seen this shit where I'm like, bro, you could predict. You can predict shit. Y'all just ain't doing the work, so you don't see it. And then what's hilarious is how like these other chains have actual noise on top of the prediction to create like whatever you want it to do. Like that's what I'm saying. If what I wanted to do is I want more people to become pro-Zenian, 100% understand the reward formula and understand it's a fair game for a group to charge, and do whatever they want to do. And that's what's happening right now. We are a small group on CBZen. We're maybe 20 people. I say it's like that because when I look at CBZen staking, we are growing. So the staker class is popping off. All right. Just in general. Right now it's on the down, which is fine. Because again, it's going to cycle. What's going to happen, and this is why CBZen is weird, because it's doing it so fast. And I just think it's the matured Zenian, because they have Ethereum, so they're making the right decisions. They're on the ETH. They're on legacy. They're not like, they're not too far away from the root cause. That's what, when you go to the other chains that are not denominated in Ethereum, they're pretty far from the EVM, which is where Zen is from. So you're going to have more Zenians again, in OPZen and in CBZen, because it's just more homey than the other ones. But what I'm trying to get at is the nature of a pump. So you'll see here, there used to be a lot of staking happening, and this was because people were getting their CBZen back in this time, and then it just dies off. That special November zone. So November 2024 here, let's look at it. November 4th, 2024. Let's look at what we got cooking. Just want to see. We had staking come to a halt. Right, it's like right here. Yeah, and then it took off again. And now it's like moderate again. That's why I'm like, yo, staking is where you want to be right now, because this is the Kickstarter before it starts to look like this again, where people are coming in trying to flip the staking pool. And in order for them to flip the staking pool, they're gonna buy the Zen, and if the Zen is on, oh yeah, that's what I want to see. Is the Zen on discount when it starts to go up? November 11th, November 2024. See, yeah, you can use it's too good, man. You can go to the back, not go to the back. You can look in the past, especially on CBZen, because it's functioning like the real Zen. And you can see like the behaviors. So let's look at the 24th. So yeah, look at on the 24th, there's a giant dump. See 24. You could see, yeah, this is kind of how I'm envisioning it. So when did this start to die down? September 20th. Now let's look at the stakers, because what happens is the people who are going to create the sell pressure are the stakers, and they're going to do it when there's claims, because then they can double the pressure. That's just how it works, right? If you're going long on Zen, that's when you need to have your dry powder so that you can buy it back. That's what's happening in this particular moment. Some people are breaking up their staking bag that they've created with time, and they've redistributed it to a lot of other people who now are the new stakers. And they were the only people in those positions. And the only way to get into those positions to like make this chart look like this is to mint. So that's why you do need to do, you know, max mints, because you could maybe make this one day, which everybody has a fair right to do it. It's on the people in the pool or in the chart to understand that Zen has these mannerisms, and X1 chain, if it's big and bad and bossy, it should take us to new levels where we see this happening, but we know how to maintain our supply, right? We're not gonna jeet our whole bag because it's running a cycle. But yeah, right now people are jeeting their whole bag, and they put it in the stake, and they rotate stakes, and then they get bored, and then they sell, and then bam, new staking class happens, and then they do it again. They sell their stakes, bam, new staking class happens. And so far in CBZen right now, like again here, let's see, January 21st. Let's look at this. January 21st. Yeah. So you see, look at, ever since we've been popping, staking has been low. There's not a whole bunch of it, right? And it's just because the people already sold. Like I've been saying, they already sold everything, and there's no CBZen coming out, and then we just don't have no fucking buyers. Today though, I'm gonna go to this base meetup, and I'm gonna be like, bruh, follow me on YouTube. Hopefully I have my prototype website done and I can show people to find Zen. Because that's where I'm at with the CBZen. It needs to be integrated into base more, and it's just going to take people like myself building base apps and making CBZen the leader, like the lead currency, and continuing to, again, define these fair principles and showing these proofs that, yeah, like if you go deeper and do the work, this is a very fascinating asset. This might be the one to dominate all crypto blockchains. There might only be activity because of the XEN. Why? You know what I'm saying? Like that. It starts with the staking apps, though. If you create more staking pools and you kind of bleed, I haven't tested this out. Let me shut the fuck up. Just know this is why I get it. Why it's gonna happen the way it's gonna happen. The other XENs can't do this, unfortunately. The other XENs won't give you such a real chart as CBXEN because there's too much toxicity included with the native coin. Right? I almost told you right now, like OP-XEN is waiting for real Xenians. Look, it's literally on the floor on day. Like again, if you're thinking about making CBXEN today, maybe you might want to think about optimism. This shit is on the ground because nobody knows how to use it. It's so funny. It took me literally 24 hours to figure this shit out. I was like, yeah, this shit is on the ground. And that's kind of how I guess you could do the test. You would just like, but that'll be in the future. Like in the future, when it, like, let's say 2029, if you want to go and you're like, maybe you're balling because you've been here, you did all the right plays, you listened to Crypto Bruh, and you didn't listen to him. You did the opposite. You inverted his strategy, and then now we're here. All these blockchains have 1 amp, and everybody's trying to figure it out, and they're max minting and waiting like 500 days. And you just walk in and do a 1-day mint, and everybody's head's just fucked up. They're like, "What? You're gonna waste money like that?" You're like, "Yeah, I need to see how many people are on this chain for real." Because that's all it is. It's just, at this point, once you get to the 1 amp, really you're just counting how many people are on the chain via the supply. And if you really can't find any math there, you don't waste a lot of money. You can just like, okay, cool, yeah, like minting is not a strategy, unfortunately. Like there's just not enough people on the chain. And it's a net negative to really mint here because there's no one here. So that's what OP-XEN is going to keep trying to remind your ass. But again, people will still ram their heads into XENs that don't make any sense. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because the special XEN that makes no sense that people are making sense of is Polygon. Polygon is the only reason I'm not afraid of CBXEN's world takeover. Because Polygon is only missing that part, staking class. So as long as CBXEN is leading the right ethics, and there's champions out there. There's not just your boy Crypto Bruh. There's all of you guys as well in the XEN community going out and telling people like, I think I got one, you know? And that's what helps build the staking class. Because that's what we do. There's value at the end of the staking class. Okay, at the end of the staking class, no one can get beyond 2%, and it blends in perfect with the amp. So then the risk moves directly into making XEN. If you want to bet on the end of the amp going to 1, which now we see is nothing more than feeding you essentially like crumbs to get the day done. Like if you still need it, like look, imagine if this was $1 OP-XEN. And you could generate $1,000 a fucking day, which doesn't really make any sense, guys. I don't know. Don't go do this shit because like that's how they get you. Because it's still 3 cents, I think, to make it. I think that's how much I spent. Like 3 or 4 cents. But what would make it like if it was a real free market, then y'all would raise gas so that it makes sense. Like if gas got to $1 per xeNFT or per VMU and like it really averaged out to that, like why wouldn't people do it? Or if there was some sort of discount, like a 20% where you mint for 70 something cents, you know, like you mint for 75 cents and then you get 20 cents on your 75. See, I'm just thinking out loud right now. None of that shit is thought out, but this is where my mind started to drift in the OP-XEN narrative. And this is what I'm saying, yo, it's kind of crazy. We get to think about it for a long time if you want to be part of this research. Like, how can you fix this? This might fix money, yo. Like this, as I'm saying, Zen World could fix the world, but it's gonna take a lot of people to take it out of dream state. It's still in a dream state, and that's why we don't have X1 yet, because we're dreaming. Even though you can see it's real, it's still a dream. If you want to get out of dream world, bro, go and do some research. Get a PhD in economics. You got time. Well, maybe not to get a PhD. 2029 is still pretty far away. It's 2025. You got 4 years. You get at least a bachelor's. It's fucking crazy. Based optimism. Yeah, we need to put them together. That's the game, though. The game is, I think that's like a really fun game. Like if we can figure out how to put OP-Zen and CB-Zen together, everything would get nuts. And same with Polygon, though, because Polygon has like VC money. Like they got real money over there. And that's why, again, I'm not worried about Polygon. Actually, let me look at Polygon. Polygon scan. The new normal on Pulse Chain, Gwei will stay above 1 milli. RBOB's launched to rebalance tokens and price. Man, that's why I'm not even trying to talk about Pulse Chain, because man, that's what I'm alluding to. You become the product of the chain. That is not what blockchain was invented for. Blockchain was invented for businesses and for inventors to innovate the world. Once the innovator puts the innovation pressure onto the community, it better be for a big ass picture that does take a lot of people, but the core, the nucleus, that needs to be super solid, man. And that's kind of why, again, I just don't know why people are wasting time with like Pulse Chain. Because that you could tell from right now that you're just gonna be Atlas propping up that shit with your hands. Now, what I'm thinking is that Zenians could take over the code set, but a lot of them would probably want like Jack Levin to lead the squad, and that's not what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Y'all would need to kind of do a lot of stuff. Y'all want to pay me $1 million? I will help you bring back Pulse Chain. On the back of Zen, we can make the network happen. But other than that, that chain is shit. Stop trying. I'm telling you, stop distracting yourself. That shit is a full-blown distraction. Like, imagine spending 24 hours trying to undercover that. I'm just listening to it because it's like a soap opera for me right now. It's a grown man soap opera. And every day it's getting worse and worse. Like today they said they're gonna take it off Rabby. That's crazy. Y'all are like, that's horrible. You gotta go back to you gotta go back to MetaMask. This is why I like Rainbow Wallet. And this is what I'm saying. It's not that people are getting blackballed. Now that I'm programming, it is kind of hard to keep up with all these chains. Like the last thing you want to do is create, like right now, like you see all these chains I can't use on Rainbow Wallet, because Rainbow Wallet is hyper focused on Ethereum, Polygon, Binance Chain, Avalanche, Optimism, and Base. They have a few other layer 2s that they do, but you know, Zen ain't on those layer 2s. Zen's on these two. But yeah, their main layer 1s are pretty much these and a few other ones. And again, like after I've developed stuff, like it's hard to code things for chains outside of the spectrum because they're not like, you know, they're like the mixtapes. So like, since it's like a mixtape and it doesn't have the right publishing, it's hard for people to spend time to code for it. Right. And that's maybe what I was like, damn, that's what's happening with the Rabby shit. Rabby feels like they're probably too deep in request from Pulse Chain because nobody on Pulse Chain can answer a question. So they're probably getting swamped. Think of it from their perspective. They're getting swamped with tickets, dude. Because no one on Pulse Chain got an answer. It's not going to be like X1 chain, right? Like X1 chain, there's a fucking landing zone. You ain't got to do no ISP fee, FFY, and XYZ thing, you know? So that's my only thing, you know, like it is right in front of you. Maybe Pulse Chain, you need to sunset it. And if not, if the Zenians want to save it, y'all got to get together and save it. Just know it's coming out of your pocket. And if they hook up that little P.o.P situation to a XEN contract, it's even worse. Well, maybe I shouldn't have not said that out loud, but it's whatever you want it to be. I don't even know if it's like that, but like, yeah, like that thing's a drain. Because yeah, like actually, it's fucking crazy how it works. But yeah, that's why you're seeing Rabby taken down. Rabby cannot take on that risk. They will not. Polygon would never do that to Rabby. Base would never do that to Rabby. Just leave him out there, swamped in tickets. Y'all gotta think about that part. That's how you know we at the bottom of the spectrum of IQs in crypto on this side of the spectrum, and that's why I'm frustrated because everybody, I have to deal with you people. But I like it because it's a push. Rabby is FUD now that I look into it. On the 30th, all you had to do was add the RPC pulse chain. Nothing different from MetaMask. But no, that's what I'm saying though. Like you can, like on Rainbow, you can't add a random RPC. They give you the chains that they support. That's what the future of wallets are. So like essentially, internet money is what you guys want to use on Pulse Chain. It shouldn't be like, oh my God, we need Rabby. It should be like, oh, fuck Rabby, we got internet wallet. But instead of it being that chant, everybody sees that they're losing the best product they've received. But all Rabby did was turn on the RPC and gave it like a clean look and shit. So that's what I mean. It's really bad for everyone over there because you have no UX leader. Like you have no CTO, which is like a chief technology officer. Like that is like super important to have. Like Jack is not the CTO, I don't think. I think it's Leo and Nick. They can't be two, I guess. I guess it's Nick more than Leo. Nick is the guy building the chain. Leo builds, but I don't see him chatting in X1. So Nick must be the CTO, the real chief technology officer, right? And you need one of those motherfuckers to keep everything in order so that it doesn't fall apart. And once something falls apart, as the chain understands it, someone has to make a executive decision. Pulse Chain has waited way too long to figure that shit out. And that's why Rabby is dropping out, y'all. No one is being an executive because everybody doesn't want to hurt their bags, which is a horrible way to be doing business in crypto when everybody is trying to like say like, hello, Trump is online. Just get official. Get out the bandit world, you know? So they can do the same with X1. What do you see? They don't know how to cancel transactions. Fuck, I don't want a wallet that gatekeeps. Well, no. I mean, that's what I'm saying, Ernest. It's the wallet isn't gatekeeping. They're making a good business practice. Like, because Pulse Chain is bad business. It's not a good business practice. Like again, you would have to use a wallet that is considered not gatekeeping, but that's like a terminology between the community. It's not. It has nothing to do with Rabby's business practices. You know, like the Rabby as a business has to protect themselves because they want to fuck with people like Polygon, and they might want to even, you know, fuck with bridging from EVM to X1 because I know it's the D-Bank people. Like they're Chinese, you know. If you didn't know that, right? Rabby is the D-Bank. So that's why I'm tripping on that whole situation because they were supposed to build that Pulse Chain bridge. I'll be listening because I got some stake, but I'm just being entertained. But yeah, like they were supposed to build all that shit out, and for them to do that tells me they don't want the business. They don't want the business. The business. So basically, MetaMask has always been king. No. It's just a smart contract wallet. The very first wallet to ever come out, it was called the Mule wallet, which was my Ethereum wallet. My Ether wallet. So this was the very first MetaMask. Before MetaMask came this. We just moved into MetaMask because MetaMask created so like look at this. If I open let me go to, I gotta go to somewhere. If I go over here, So we are in the future, y'all. We hit the inspect. This is why you fuck with your boy Crypto Bro, because I'm not giving you some gas. I'm giving you the facts. You see how I see all of these wallets here? This is because they have packages in the background to help build things out. And then they call certain things in the cloud to build out the website. So this integration is what, oh, this doesn't even have it on it. We got to go to something that has it. Oh, we'll go to the XEN website. We'll inspect this one. And if we go to sources, yeah, now we should be like seeing like you see the torrent, xeNFT optimism, and I'm using rainbow. But yeah, like, so like essentially everything you need is going to be running through these like prerequisites in the internet. And what Mule did bad but good was they made it so you could like make an Ethereum wallet, but only within their environment. It wasn't like a developer could dev outside of the Mule wallet. So when MetaMask came about, that was the special piece of it. You could start to sign and do more with the wallet, because the wallet had more packages and like more build behind it. It wasn't just a website wallet. All right. Most trusted wallet since 2015. Right. I mean, they've caught up, obviously, because it's been a race. The wallet race has been a race. But yeah, the very first one was this one. So MetaMask is nothing more than the first wallet to go to your extension, and they own that. That's why Phantom wallet, or like, you know what I'm saying, like you have now all these wallets that people say like, oh, you need to make a chain in a wallet. No, theoretically you shouldn't, because you're fragmenting yourself even further, because you're driving everybody to one wallet. And this is why, again, the Ethereum bros were like, fuck that, we might as well just do layer 2s, so then we can get rid of the ideology that you need wallets, and then put the wallet, that's like my theory on wallets, they put the wallet competition into the wallet businesses, right? And that's why I'm saying Rabby as a business cannot take on that risk, because you guys must have driven up a lot of their revenue. And if y'all are gonna fail, the last thing they want to do is, you know, really support Pulse Chain. You get me? Like they'll like, they'll support your custom RPC, but they're not gonna like have it just blast it out. Like, that's what I'm saying. That's fucking crazy to me. I think that's really bizarre. That's what the most bizarre thing is, that they're gonna let you be here, but they're gonna take away affiliation. That's what you should be mad about. Not the fact that you can't use the wallet, the fact that they're taking away affiliation. Rip. That's like that's like the XEN thing where they drop a chain because, you know, like it was going too hard. I hate having to add RPCs. Yeah, the adding RPCs is like, it's kind of old news now. That's why I moved to Rainbow Wallet, because I just love this, like you click it and you're on the chain. And the next step is to get rid of that. That's what they're working on for the next 2 to 3 years, between Optimism, Base, and all these other layer 2s. Something that, again, I think is an opportunity for the XEN world. I don't think it's a competition. That's why I'm like, yo, hella motherfuckers are distracted right now. And it's fine, because that's what crypto is all about. Look at all these fucking ideas. Right? No idea, I guess, is most dominant than the other. But in my real theory of this whole experience, I do think that XEN is the most dominant, and there is a such thing as wasting time, like I was saying. So you can spend a lot of time on like one thing, but if it doesn't work out, you're wasting time, and you wasted a lot of time. That's my one critical critique on Jack Levin, is wasting time. But the fucked up part about it is, like, you're in tech. There's no such thing as that. But again, you need to be working towards something that's going to change the world. And you have to feel inside of yourself that you're doing great work. That I don't think anybody can give you. That I think you have to take a solo walk. Go take a fucking hike. Go see if you can find that fire. Moses. Because I don't know about you, but yeah, 9 weeks straight down in Zen world and still being positive about it. I think you've done a pretty good job at understanding the pain. And these next green candles are yours. They're not anyone else's. That's why they're not happening, you fuckers. Everybody wants XEN to do something. We'll go and make it do something. Yes, let's go. All right. We've got exactly what I want to see. Oh, this isn't even that big of an exit. Never mind. This one, CBZN is so light. There's a lot of buyers right now. So, yeah, you can sell like a couple, what is it, 5 minutes or an hour. It's not that much. $2 is what it balances out to. Nah. Oh, I guess it is 6 hours. So $420 moves it down 7%. That's ridiculous. That means, yeah, that's why I'm like, yo, if CBZN gets real speculation, which again, it might just need more, it might need like a house. So like, I'm thinking like, I'm waiting on the homie Tree City West to do the X burner, but I have my own ideas too. And that's something I'm challenging everyone as well. Like, why do we flagship burning contracts? That shit is kind of dumb. Like, everybody's a flag. So if you feel like positive about a company or like about a Zen project, you should like try to figure out a way to unionize it, essentially. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, be the voice of it. So something, you know, as easy as like making an NFT collection. So I think CBZN does kind of like deserve something like that. And again, I'm torn because I'm still going hard for Emoji Dracula, bro. This is the meme coin right here. Right now, the 72 is crossing under the 21. So it is still in the upward momentum, and it's got a lot of room. It's got a lot of room. And again, it's a fucking vampire emoji. The supply is burning. Man, I'm so torn. I want to go and buy a bunch more of this because it's just sitting there, and meme season's about to start, and just championing it is all you need to do. But at the same time, when I say like I want to champion something, like CBZN is just like the opportunity and the upside is just so much more greater in the Zen world. Like, cause if you can bring in something that's constantly buy pressure on the CBZN, things are gonna get really wacky. And that's why, again, I think this is the one where we turn buy pressure into mint pressure, and we fucking put that shit together. Like, you could do that on CBZN. You can come up with that innovation or that invention. You might not be able to do that on Ethereum because you're at the mercy of this being the Jack Levin experiment. So it's going to see the most pain, but it's going to have a lot of upside too, right? The question is every time it goes up, did the right crowd buy the bottom? I will always ask that question in Zen, because you could just mint it and be safe. Right? Or you could just hold 10 billion. Like I'm saying, like I have 10 billion, I'm holding it, I'm staking it until it's 2%. And if, you know, if God bless me to get more than 10 billion, thank the Lord. You know, like I don't need more than that. It sounds like really good amounts of supply at this nothing price. Right? If I want to have a terrible amount of Zen, why not get it on a chain where there's real competition? That's my like theory on it. ETH Zen is for low value or for low supply. CB Zen is for high supply. OP Zen is for ETH Zen simulation. So you don't need a lot of it. So like even getting, like I'm saying, like getting 10, you can run the simulation on OP Zen and get 10 billion. It's probably a lot cheaper over here. $40. So you can get $40. You can get 10 billion over here, and you can stake it and start to try to understand what the same 10,000 or 10 billion would be over here, right? Because 10 billion on Ethereum is always going to be expensive because it's the biggest attention Zen. So it's always going to have attention. You won't need to drive attention to ETH Zen, okay? And that's the way it should be. You should never have to work for a crypto. What the fuck are you doing? Working for a cryptocurrency? Like, maybe talk about it and live it, but you should never be trying to save it. I'm just trying to say that for the people in the back that are really trying to save Pulse Chain. Man, do not save that shit. If it gets saved, it gets saved. You found the Zen. You got the journey. You know that Jack Levin's going to save P.o.P. So that's why I'm like, yo, that shit might go up. P.o.P might just take the fuck off because the smart money in Pulse Chain knows that this is one way out if they want to keep playing that game. And it's polluted because it's got bad stakers and a horrible looking chart. So pollution is on 10,000 over here. It is ready for some believers. But again, if it's up for y'all to do whatever y'all want. I'm going to personally say it. If there is a real drainer, which I have seen, then it's kind of dumb to risk, in my personal opinion, your capital here because the liquidity is so low anyways. Right? If you have a lot of Zen, yo, you can move in right now to any other chain and not have to deal with any of the funk. But like at the same time, you've seen what happened to other Zens when the chains broke. I just don't want to see the homies get caught up in this shit. And then Jack is your only way out. Because, you know, that's really betting on XNT like being sick for all of the time that you spent. And why do they need to give Pulse Chain a bonus? Because like they fell for the scam. You know, that would be always my argument. It would be like literally like giving charity to people, but it's up to Jack. That's what I'm saying. That's up to Jack, man. If you want to be in a Jack Levin coin, that's your thing to figure out. I see why he did CB Zen and Optimism Zen the way it is. These are the real Zen coins. Like everything you love about Zen, that shit's happening over here. And you can choose now. I'm openly saying it. Yeah, choose up. Maybe you don't go into CB Zen and you get a real good wallet that allows you to go in between the two. Or you can get a really good aggregator. My favorite is Squid. The Squid router. I will always promote this one. Turn off the VPN if you're messing with the Zen contracts. If you run a simulation inside of a simulation enough times, we can quantum leap into X1 launch. Bro, for real, that's what I'm trying to say, bro. If everyone just keeps running sims, it's going to happen faster. But we can tell it's not happening because no one's doing it. It's so funny. Like, this spike on the stakers yesterday on CBZen, that was awesome. But now it's not doing nothing because nobody's buying and it's falling because they're unstaking and they're not restaking. So we're back in the cycle. But this is the extended one, right? These things will happen, but this is where the supply is the most high. Supply wasn't too high back here. Supply is the most high here. So yeah, more stakers on CBZen and Optimism Zen. And then again, I think, yeah. Yeah, more Earth stakers, just more stakers. That's like literally the notion. Increase staking. We need to increase staking on all horizons. Increase staking on all horizons. Where's that dashboard? P.o.P is a bad smart contract that we should root to fail. Yeah, a new router. I need that in my life. XeNFi abandoned my soul. Yeah, XeNFi too. XeNFi though came from the Pulse Chain camp, so I'm not too surprised of what they did. And they came from Binance Chain, so I'm not really too surprised as well. Like Pulse Chain and Binance Chain, like that just screamed like they're gonna exit if the money's not coming in. And Zen is designed to expose that. So if you did live through the XeNFi, like you're built different. Thanks, earn it. Yeah. Like imagine if we didn't do XeNFi and we just staked all of our Zen in that moment. Like that would have been another, that's like a live and learn moment. But yeah, ETH ruling the staking. Most staked is on ETH and it kills their liquid supply. So they're doing it right. That's what I'm saying. Polygon's an inspiration. It's just nobody has Polygon. And no one's going hard in Polygon for Zen. So you got a lot of dead coins sitting there, and they're actually not on the DEX. That's why you got to wake up the community to do a move or something, right? On the DEX, there's like 56 trillion. So yeah, I mean, you can come over here and grab a whole bunch, and maybe that might bring some people out. But yeah, that's all this is waiting for. First mover advantage. Nobody wants to move. That's all it's waiting for. Right. And that's why I'm like, yo, I think it's kind of safe. Like, I think it's safe to, if you have Polygon coins, like, don't go buy Polygon. That's not what I'm saying here. Like, do not do that at all. But if you have some, why not? Because that's like almost like a free, like it's free. It's a free up. All you got to do is stake it and just join the staker class. They're already building your foundation. They just need more people like them. Meanwhile, like on places like XENblocks, they got the second largest stake. They're over here trying to figure it out. They literally need X1 to come out, or all their work is going to disappear. That's kind of how I'm picturing it. It's either that, like either all their work disappears, or Jack and them have to think of like a snapshot where they snapshot XENblocks on the last day, like all the tokens. I don't know though. That's up to them. You gotta talk to Jack Levin on that one. And then we got Base coming in at number 4 with the most, and then under Base is Pulse Chain. And that's what I'm saying. Yo, Pulse Chain, take notes from Base. Like this chain is doing it. It has less liquid supply and more staked. That's why you know all you need to do is just move this over here, and it's a positive DeFi. It's a real digital fiat token, right? It's headed to 2%, just like the Fed. The Fed tries to maintain 2% inflation every year, and all of the everything that drives the economy fucks up the inflation. Not in Zen. In Zen, we could actually meme that. That's something that I've been thinking about, is like meming the 2%, like the countdown to being better than the Fed. Because that's how powerful the staking class is. Like, you should be hyped that you're going to have a vehicle that's better than the Fed's inflation. Right? Phantom coming in underneath Pulse Chain with the most supply. Right? If we do the most liquid supply, Phantom comes in at number 1. So that's how you know too, there is something happening on Pulse Chain and on ETH and on Polygon and even on XENblocks. That's how you know it. The saddest thing about XENblocks is the nodes quit. They said if y'all want to stay up, y'all can stay up. So that's centralized from the Yump right now. I have no clue what this means. And this is why too, it's like, yo, maybe the burn for Zen isn't too crazy. You got to burn a shit ton. I'm talking like you got to burn it all. Like I have 4 trillion. I got to get rid of all 4 trillion. I got 10 trillion. I got to get rid of all 10 trillion. Because on these chains, on like XENblocks, they're going to be burning everything. Phantom, they're burning everything. Pulse Chain, if it doesn't work out, they're burning everything. And then if all those burn points are definitely added into like one giant burn point pool thing, that they haven't explained yet, then essentially it doesn't matter where you're burning. You would need to have it spread yourself out, like, and burned everywhere, or burned really early, so you got max value on Ethereum before it got to the smaller value point. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, that's why I'm like, yo, there is something here to be studied. And Polygon, ETH, PAL, and Base, we know that those ones are moving. So I would say that's your top 3 best chains in Zen right now. And then 4 would be Moonbeam. And then the 5th would be Binance, but some would also say that Binance doesn't represent the branding because they're on the same hype where majority of their coins are not staked, right? So that's why I would say number 5 technically is Optimism, right? ETH, PAL, Polygon, Base, Moonbeam, Optimism. Now the value is what's crazy, because when you start to look at the value, Optimism is more in value than all of those. So its staked amount is pretty powerful. Like the DeFi and Optimism is pretty powerful. That's why I gotta respect it. Then you got Ethereum, and then Avalanche. Right, ETH come in at number 7. So this is why, again, I say ETH. It was the first one to bring the inception, and it will always be the strongest inception tool. But for a small fry, the smaller chains are going to be where you're going to see the most upside. And Polygon is just a sit and duck. Polygon and Optimism are literally sit and ducks. Same with Moonbeam. If you can move over to Polkadot, and there's still a lot of Polkadot fans, so don't hate too much on the Polkadots, man. Don't hate too much on the Polkadots. I burned a bunch of Zen for VZen on Arbitrum, and now it's nothing. I hate that they made it so you can't even trade the VZen. That's the worst part. Yeah, proving my point. It's a bad smart contract. But yeah, that's like all I had today. But if you think, hey, I mean, like there's gonna be a lot of bad stuff that happen in crypto, and there's gonna be some stuff that just like you can't come back from. But at least from what I'm seeing, like, and if you've been here with the channel for a while, like the channel's even been growing because we're outside the spectrum of what everybody else is hyper focused on. So yeah, big ups to everybody that's still pulling up and hitting the like button and such. But yeah, this is kind of why, again, I think it's a solo game. You can do whatever you want to do. How you understand the product is the alpha, and that's why that can't be free. Not everybody's supposed to understand how Zen works. That's part of the quantum spectrum. You need the clueless that get hungry and say, I want to learn, because they make the network better. Yeah, right now you have your simulation packs, so go run them. And until next time, peace, bitch.